Hello, my name's Katie and welcome to my shed. We're on Monday the 10th, Monday the 10th, Monday the 9th. Let me look. Monday the 9th. One day I'm going to learn to look before I start talking. Today is not that day. Let me think. So last time we saw you, or you saw me, we were doing the outside plein air work. Let me show you this one here. And since then I have been at work, and today is my day off because I was in at the weekend and stupidly booked some work meetings without twigging it was my day off. So I've been doing that this morning and not hanging out in here as much as I'd like. I did do one of my shorts, and actually I've started another short, like a, not my daily art challenge, but another short. So I've been doing that this morning because I didn't want to start anything too proper. Does that make sense? Makes sense to me. Anyway, how are you keeping? I hope you're all keeping well. We haven't had rain this morning. I mean, it's still a bit grey out there, but it's not raining, I think, for the first time since the new year, so that's good. Can you see behind me? I've been doing some bits. This was I did that on Saturday, so that's workshop prep for a mono printing workshop that we're hoping to do. So they are up there drying, and I think my English is terrible sometimes. I think that I'd forgotten how easy but satisfying monoprinting is. So obviously for my examples I've done birds and chickens. I've got hiccups, but we won't just be doing that, we'll give some other options. Let me get the chicken that you can't see, because actually it's my favourite one. How cute is that? I mean, I think it's cute. Not everyone will. It's still wet. Those inks, I've used the what are they? The Calico, the Cranfield Calico Safe Wash inks. That's what I was using, and they do sometimes take a little while to dry. Anyway, what we're going to do today is I want to carry on working on that image that we started last week, and I'm going to do a triptych, so 3 mini paintings, a bit like these ones behind, but I'm going to do them on paper because I want to use some watercolour and a bit of ink, and I probably could use those on gessoed panels, but I feel like it'd be less successful. So we're going to use some paper, and we're going to start with some watercolour washes and a bit of ink, and then we'll work over the top of that with our acrylics, gouache, neocolours, pencil, that sort of thing. So I'm going to turn you around and we'll talk about what, actually we can talk about that whilst we're here, because we don't need to turn you around for that. So obviously getting this into 3 10x10 pictures it's not going to fit. So I'm just going to pick out shapes and aspects of it that I really like, and then we'll kind of draw some of it out. It's going to be very intuitive because that's what I enjoy doing. So that's what we're going to do, and we'll chuck everything we've got at it and hopefully come out with something that we like. So let's turn you around and make a start. Okay, so the bits I like are all in this lower 2/3 really. I'm not too bothered by this. So I'm definitely wanting to get some marks in, like these drawn marks, something circular. I like these dots of the gravel. I like the verticals of the fence, and then these horizontals. So we'll probably go with these sections, sort of there, there and there, but we'll draw it out and we'll see how we go. And remembering it, you know, it's not an exact reflection of what you can see, so it's going to be my interpretation of it, and that is absolutely fine. Right, so I've marked out, I've laid my paper out rather, and taped it into these 10cm squares. start with this one. This one is just a soft pencil, which I like, and we'll start by drawing out the shapes that we like and getting some movement on, remembering that we're just going to keep working over it and working over it until we get somewhere where we're happy. Notice I don't take my pencil off. That is deliberate, because I do enjoy these continual lines. That's enough to start with. Let's get some watercolour down and then we will go over the top of it. So I'm going to start with I'll use my Roman Szmals that I introduced you to the other day, and get some of these shapes in. If I wanted to, I could have sprayed the paper, but I do want to get some of these drag marks on as well, because that's what I like, and I don't quite like having a bit of randomness. I've got another work meeting in a little while, so I'm going to have to stop and go and do that, which hopefully will tie in with this needing to dry. This needs to dry before we can do anything else with it, so let's pop the heater on and let it dry. Okay, so I'm going to go with some ink and then I'm going to leave it to dry, because I'm actually going to not use the pipette, because this is such a small picture. I feel like if I use the pipette we're going to end up with a big mess. Right, so I use my little dip pen. It's very old, it's very scabby, but it will serve a purpose. And let's see if we can get some of these lines in. Looks like it's a little bit wet still, so I might have to hold off. I'll carry on with this top line. I might have to wait till I come back in. Deliberately kind of done wonky lines because I quite like that. You see the pencil, you see a bit of ink. Sometime later I am back in. The ink is still a little bit damp, but I think it'll be okay to work over. I am gonna use some pencil now. I'm gonna use watercolour pencil because I like the way that reacts, and I like that it might move a little bit when we go in with some more wet paints. So let us think. Right, what do we want to pull out? I think just want a few more lines along here. Let's have a look. They were like a turquoise, weren't they? I don't have a turquoise, I've got a light blue, so we'll use that. Just thinking, actually I need to go in with some of the orange that was there. I'm going to use some near colours, near colour 2s. Get some neutral like greys in. So I used this one, I think it's got a slightly blue tint. to it, which I like. Okay, let's get some gouache, because I feel like that's what we need now. I mean, I do love that I just use everything. Oh, excuse me. It does get a bit messy. And I want a flat brush. I'm just going to use this one here. So I'm going to use the elm green. These are all Holbein. I've got a couple of Winsor Newton which I might use in a minute, but these are my favourite ones. Get a little bit of texture in there. As it dries, I'll probably paint over it again, but I think for now it's important to get a little bit of marks in there for my happiness. I don't like this blue. I've got to do something about that, so we'll work on that as well. Just thinking at the moment. You probably don't need to see me think. Let me pause you for a bit. Okay, I'm going to get a bit more of the ochre in. I'm going to do my drag technique, because I like that. I'll get a bit here as well to add a bit more texture in. I do want orange here, but I'm going to go in with the ochre to start, and then if it needs to be brighter, we can add some orange. Also want some lilacs. So I'll do very similar technique, which is just my drag and squeeze technique. A couple of acrylics. I'm going to use some light pink. This is the Liquitex light pink, and then I've got a Galleria pale olive. So I'm going to use the pale olive on this back field, and I'm going to use some of the light pink here just to add a bit of texture and a little bit of depth. Let's start with the pink, because I think that's probably the driest, and I'm going to use it neat out the tube because it's thicker and more opaque, whereas if I start diluting it I will lose that. And for me, currently, I want texture and depth, so that's why I'm doing that. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I often use a matte medium or something just to thin it out, but that's not what I want to do today. And I'm putting it on really thick, which again I don't normally do. I normally put it on quite thin and in layers. Okay, that's all I want of that at the moment. So I don't know if you twigs, but I am just doing a little bit here and there, just till I get it how I want it. Okay, brush for this backfield as well. I do quite like this where it's the navy sort of under the blue, the greeny blue, but it's just not right for that part of the field, unfortunately. I can't get the lid off. Go me. I might not be using this colour anyway. I can't get it off. Not sure if this is opaque enough. I might have to do a few layers. It's not working, is it? Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do without that. It's not covering. Let's leave it and have a think. And then I want to get this like much more of a yellow green, this strip here. Just mixing a couple of colours here, see if I can get the shade I want. And then I think it's nearly time for me to go in for my next meeting. Oh, that's better. I like that a lot. And I like that the lines are showing through. It's much, much better. Just make a tiny bit more of that to finish that line off. Scrape back some of those lines, but not all of them. I haven't thought about this. I can take some of this off, you know. Okay, I need to leave this to dry thoroughly and then we'll be back. Okay, right, I want to get some of this orange in about the back here before I put in the blue. I'm going to use an orange acrylic, and it's a cadmium orange. I'll just use it over the top with quite a dry brush. I want a little bit of that in the other ones, not too much. Really liking how this one's looking. This one needs some love, as does this one at the moment. I feel like I want to get this bit here sorted. I'm actually going to do that in that pale olive again. I'll try another layer over here, see if I can get this a little bit, that's better. Might actually take 3 layers to get this thick enough. Look at that, it's all lifting up. So what I might have to do is go over with some gesso once it's dry, so that I can keep working over the top of it. I think this is where the colours are, they're just lifting up. So that's a lesson for me. Yeah, it's doing it all the way along. Okay, so I think I'd need to leave it now to dry and then go over with some gesso. Before I do that, I am just putting a lid on this. Going to use some Poscas to get some of these dots down because I want kind of layers of those. This is kind of the colour set that I'm interested in. I'm not going to use all of them obviously, but I think I'm going to start with some pinks because then if I'm gessoing over them, they will disappear a little bit. And I'm going to do some quite haphazard marks like this. Don't know if this is going to look a bit much on that. I might need to use the yellows on this one. I do need to get some of these yellows or ochres kind of in here somewhere, but I'm not sure where yet. Okay, now I am going to leave it and we're going to gesso it, and then we'll come back to it and hopefully be able to work over it a little bit more. Okay, we are back for a little bit more, and then I'm going to have to leave it until Friday because I'm now at work after today, but I'm quite happy with it. It's better than I remembered, so that's always a result. I'm just going to sort this out and see what difference that makes, and then we'll go from there, I think. So I'll grab another brush. I'm going to actually add a bit of white into this because, oh my god, this lid here really does not like opening, does it? Okay. A bit of card to work on. It's blinking bitter. It was not so cold earlier, but now it's grim. It's like icy wind. We've got to go and stand outside for football training in a minute, so that'll be fun. It's quite a nice colour, isn't it? Still wet. I don't understand. That's just horrible over there. I'm going to put the heater on and time lapse for a little while just so I can see if I can dry it out. Okay, I think I have thrown too much at it. So what I'm going to do is take the tape off just to have a little look at them, and then we'll see. It might be that they're not salvageable, or they might look better, but the colours are not doing it for me at the moment. It all looks a little bit too muddy. So let's get this tape off and then reassess. I mean, that top line is remarkably clean, considering how wet they were. apart from down there, but we can cover that up if we need to, if we decide these are salvageable paintings. Actually, they do look better. I mean, everything always looks better when you take the tape off, doesn't it? What I'm going to need to do is leave. I mean, I've got to go in anyway. So we will leave them. Hopefully then they will fully dry and I can sort this top corner out. But yeah, what do you think? Actually better than I thought. This one I quite like, if I can sort that top corner out. These two definitely look landscapey. This one, not so much. But yeah, was feeling very sorry for myself, but now I'm not feeling as sorry for myself. So I'm going to leave you because I've got to go in and got to go football training, and then I'm at work for 3 days. So it will be Friday when I'm next in. So I will see you on Friday. Have a nice week up until this point. Morning. It's Friday morning. I made it through the week. I'm waiting for the big round of applause to tell me well done for being a big girl and going to work. I just dropped some stuff on the floor. Give me a sec. So yes, what were we doing? We were congratulating me for doing my job that I actually get paid to do. But it's Friday, and you know what? I'm so excited because I've got a weekend off. So I've got no like proper work. I've got no workshops. I haven't got my art group this week. That's next week. Don't get me wrong, these are all things I like doing, but they're all things that take up my weekend. And I've got no football. So, well, there's football tonight, but none on Saturday or Sunday. I just feel liberated. Does that feel dramatic? It probably does feel dramatic, but that's how I feel. I feel just really excited that I've got a weekend where I can just do what needs to be done. So that's exciting, isn't it? Do you guys feel like that? Do you feel, even when you're doing things that you want to do, you're a bit like, oh, I don't have it's not like off when you've got other plans? I think I'm probably revealing too much about myself. Right, what we're going to do is I've just masked off the areas of those pictures that I want to work on. So actually I am quite liking them. I think once they're framed up they'll look pretty good, but I do want to work on this strip on all 3 of them. So I've masked off like the edges so I can do that, and on this one I want to work on that, but I'm also going to try and take some of this out because it's just feels like there's too much going on, and I want to unite it a little bit more with this one. So that's what we're going to do. Shall I turn you around? I will turn you around. Okay, I've been editing this video, so I've edited it all the way up to this point so that it's ready to go out tomorrow. And whilst I was editing it, there was quite a few things that I could see that I shouldn't have done, and I think that's probably one of the most valuable things about doing this YouTube stuff for my art. I mean, it makes me do it, that's the one, but it helps me see where I could have stopped or done things differently. So it is really good for reflecting on your art techniques and things. So even if, recommendation to you is, even if you are not planning on uploading videos because of whatever reason, and there are many, if you recorded your videos, even if you do it on a time lapse, because that's where I normally notice it, you can see at what point you feel like you should have stopped or what aspects of it you're enjoying and when. And it really does help from a reflection point of view. Checking because I feel like I put you out of view. the other thing I've noticed with this one is I've just put too many colours on it. And that's the problem of doing these sorts of things when you're at home and you've got all the stuff out and you've got a personality like mine that just can't leave it. I always have good intentions of using a limited palette, or you know, but when it's all in front of me, I'm like a kid in a sweet shop, really. This brush is so cheap. It's like a kid's one, but actually it's quite handy for these small spaces. Okay, that's that one, and then I'm going to go in with the pink. I need to just take out some of this, really. And I do like all these drawn marks. There's a bit much going on here. What I'm going to do is flatten it out a bit and then go back in with some other marks. I'll get these on a bit of paper so we can actually see what they look like, because my table is disgusting. I've realised I don't have any frames suitable to frame them up. Alright, what do you think? I feel like they're possibly a little bit dark. I've just been talking at myself for a while and you weren't recording, but at least I noticed. What do you think? I quite like them. There's bits I like more than others, but I think as an overall set of images they work quite nicely. If I was to do them again, I would definitely not pop the near colour on until later on, because that caused me a whole lot of problems. I like the texture, but I think the texture should have been in the foreground because that's where the texture was and not so much here. I'm pleased with how this has turned out now. I'm still not sure that it feels a bit different to these two, and obviously this is the order of them from if we were having 3 images up on the wall. I don't know. I really like the pencil marks on here. I think I just chucked too much at it, which is a lesson that I will probably never stop learning, because I like art products and I like putting it all on bits of paper. Okay, I'm going to turn you around and we'll talk. Okay, very odd lighting again. Sorry, I'll get this a new bulb at some point this weekend, because I don't think we can work in this dark, can we? Right, let me know in the chats there is only one chat. Let me know in the chat, that one chat that's down below, what you think of them. When you've watched back on the time lapse, let me know at what point I should have stopped, because there is a point in my head when I think I should have stopped, and I did not. I carried on and I carried on and I carried on. So go back and have a look and say, yep, should have stopped at, and put the minutes in the chat. Be interesting to see if you all agree or not. But I do like them, and I will get them framed up. I'll get some more of these small frames, frame them up, and then I'll show you them next week once, or whenever I get the frames and get that done. And then we can look at them one more time for luck. Oh, I'm such a numpty. Right, we are going to sign off. So this is what we took. We made those. Apologies if it's not your cup of tea. I probably will be doing more abstract landscapes on this channel, because that is what I've been enjoying, and you know that I have a very short attention span, so I might change and next week we'll do something completely different, but currently that is my intention. Okay, I am going to let you go, crack on with your weekend. If you're watching this video on Saturday, I am planning on doing a live stream on Sunday, and that will be at 3 o'clock UK, like Greenwich Mean Time. And so if you're bored, come and join me. The last one was fairly successful, so I'm hoping my tech skills are going to get better and better, and eventually I might actually be able to paint and talk. Multi-skilling has never been my strength, so I might not be able to do both. But yeah, feel free to come and join me. I am planning on doing some cards for International Women's Day, because that's coming up on the 3rd of March, and I want to make some cards for people at work, and I thought that would be something I could probably do whilst talking, because it won't be as I won't have to think as much. Thank you very much for watching. Please do, if you like and subscribe. I know that if you're watching on your telly you can't subscribe very easily, but maybe just pop on your phone, click the subscribe button, then you carry on watching me on the phone, on the telly. That would be great. I've just tipped over the 800 mark, so that's exciting. I have had less comments though. I went to respect getting loads of comments, so please, if you're watching a video and you've got a few seconds, add a little comment, because I think one of the best things about doing YouTube is chatting to you guys. So do pop a comment in the chat. That would be lovely. I am gonna leave you be. Have a lovely weekend, and I will see you soon.